This hotel shouldn't exist. It's not on the shore or a cliff. It's right in the sea, on an island that wasn't here 100 years ago. And there's no solid bottom beneath it, just sand. Soft sea sand, into which any ordinary skyscraper would simply sink, like a knife through butter. And yet here, 300 meters from the shore, a giant white sail rises 321 meters into the sky. The most luxurious hotel on the planet. The one that was the first in the world to be called a 7-star hotel. It cost around $1 billion. And almost every engineer looking at the plans said the same thing. You can't build like this. A building that tall can't be placed on sand in the sea. It will collapse. It will either sink into the bottom or tip over or be washed away by the waves. And yet, it has stood here for over 25 years. Here's how they did it. Now look, why was it necessary to build a hotel in the sea at all? Dubai, the early 90s. The city is at a crossroads. The oil that has sustained the emirate is slowly running out. And Dubai's ruler makes a strategic decision. While the money still exists, the city must be transformed into the world capital of luxury and tourism. But for the whole world to suddenly want to come to Dubai, the city needs a symbol. A single image that will become the country's calling card. Like the Eiffel Tower for Paris. Like the Opera for Sydney. And the commission to the British firm is precisely this. Build a building that will become synonymous with Dubai itself.
They needed a symbol that would put Dubai on the map forever. And the answer came from the sea.
And architect Tom Wright hits upon an idea. He draws a sail. Not just a beautiful abstraction, the sail of a traditional Arabian dhow, used for centuries to fish and pearl along these shores. A nod to the Emirates' maritime past. And immediately, a bold thought is born. If this is a sail, it should be in the sea. Not on the embankment, not among other buildings, but alone in the water. Like a ship heading for shore. Beautiful on paper. But it is precisely this decision that unleashes an engineering nightmare. That's the challenge. Building directly in the open sea is impossible. It's a chaos of waves, currents, and salt water. So, first you have to create land where there isn't any. Construct an artificial island right in the bay. And then, on this fresh, man-made patch of land, erect one of the tallest buildings in the country. And all this on a seabed made not of rock, but of soft sand. 3 separate impossible tasks, one within the other. And now the numbers themselves. It's 321 meters tall. At the time of its opening, it was the tallest hotel in the world. The island beneath it is approximately 150 meters across, constructed 300 meters from the shore, where the sea depth is about 7.5 meters. Inside the hotel is an atrium, a huge open hall 180 meters high, one of the tallest in the world. It would have been large enough to house a decent-sized high-rise. And the entire construction took 5 years. 3 years just to create the island, and another 2 for the hotel itself.
On paper, it looked like total madness, building a megastructure right in the open sea.
All that remained was to build it. And the scale of this construction is no less astounding than the building itself. Thousands of people worked on Paris. According to various estimates, around 3,500 workers on site, and around 250 designers and engineers from Britain, the United States, and Dubai itself. It was a truly international operation. Some calculated the foundation, others designed the steel frame, still others figured out how to support the island, and still others perfected the interiors. Thousands of tons of steel and tens of thousands of cubic meters of concrete were transported to a single point in the middle of the bay. And all this for a single building that was supposed to rewrite the concept of what could be built at sea. Let's start with the island. The first task is to fill the sea with a patch of earth and hold it in place. Engineers fill the area and line its edges with stone to protect it from the waves. And then they get their first blow. The sea begins to erode this stone defense. Waves crash against the shore, roll back, and wash the stones back into the bay. The island is essentially eroding faster than they can reinforce it. A classic trap. You build a wall against the sea, and the sea simply pulls it away. And here's the first beautiful solution. The engineers stop fighting the waves head-on. Instead of a solid stone wall, they surround the island with special hollow concrete blocks, large, honeycomb-shaped structures. The trick is in the shape. The waves don't break against this barrier but pass through it and are dampened inside, losing all their force in the voids of the blocks. The water comes and gets stuck instead of pounding. These blocks are laid around the entire perimeter of the island, anchoring the shore and turning it into a single fortress against the sea. The sea no longer drags the shore apart. The island is stable. The first impossible problem is solved.
Instead of fighting the waves head-on, Engineers used clever physics to let the water break harmlessly inside.
Incidentally, this is precisely why the island took 3 whole years to build, longer than the hotel itself. Simply dumping earth into the water isn't enough. The fresh fill needs to settle, compact, and stop settling. Otherwise, everything built on top will warp. The engineers took their time. They gave the seabed and the fill time to settle before placing the building on them. It took 3 years just to secure the site, and only then did the Paris construction begin. Since the island is located 300 meters from the shore, a road is needed to reach it. After all, everything needs to be transported to this patch of land. Equipment, steel, concrete, and then guests. Therefore, the island is connected to the mainland by a narrow causeway, a curved bridge over the water. Essentially, it's the only connection between Paris and the mainland. Today, this water access is part of the experience. Guests drive to the hotel directly above the sea, as if sailing toward a ship moored at anchor. Now comes the main nightmare of the entire construction project, the foundation. And to understand the scale of the problem, we need to understand a few things. Typically, skyscrapers are built like this. They drill down to solid rock and rest piles on it. The rock supports the weight, simple and reliable. But here, beneath the bay floor, there is no rock. There is only sand. A thick layer of soft sea sand extending deep into the sea. There is nothing to support it. Place hundreds of thousands of tons of weight on such soil, and the building will begin to sink into the seabed and collapse. How can you support a skyscraper on something that literally slips through your fingers?
No solid rock underneath, just deep, shifting sand. How do you keep a massive tower from sinking?
And here's a brilliant engineering solution, worth watching this video for. Since the bottom can't be supported, the engineers decide not to support it at all. They drive over 200 concrete piles into the sand. Each one is 40 meters long. 40 meters is the height of a 14-story building, descending vertically into the sand. But these piles don't support the building from below. Watch closely to see the trick. Not a single one of these piles rests on the solid bottom. They hang suspended in the sand. And what holds them up is friction. The friction of the sand against the surface of the pile along its entire 40-meter length. Imagine thrusting a long stick deep into the sand and trying to pull it out. The sand compresses it from all sides, holding it with colossal force. The longer the stick and the denser the sand, the stronger the grip. Engineers use this exact principle, only on a monstrous scale. Over 240-meter-long piles, compressed by sand along their entire length, create enough friction to support an entire skyscraper. The building doesn't rest on the seabed. It hangs in the sand, gripped by friction. The entire tower, weighing hundreds of thousands of tons, is held up by the sand, tightly gripping its piles. It sounds incredible, but that's exactly how Paris stands to this day. The island is ready, the foundation holds. Now, up. And the sail's shape has a hidden problem. The beautiful curved shell alone can't support a height of 300 meters. Thin concrete walls simply won't hold up in such winds. A skeleton is needed. And so the engineers take a step rare for buildings. They bring the supporting framework outside. A huge steel exoskeleton envelops the building from the outside. Like ribs, it supports the entire structure and simultaneously becomes part of the overall appearance, the very lines that give the sail its recognizable silhouette. A skeleton brought to the surface. And within this skeleton are 2 curved, winged walls that diverge to form the Latin letter V, like an open checkmark. And between them is that gigantic, 180-meter-tall atrium. And here's another problem that the average person doesn't think about: heat. Dubai is known for its extreme temperature fluctuations, and steel expands in the heat and contracts in the cool. The enormous steel trusses of the frame elongate in the desert sun. If they were rigidly fastened, they would begin to push on themselves as they expanded, causing them to deform. So the engineers came up with a clever fastening system, a kind of self-regulating mechanism that allows the trusses to expand and contract slightly without breaking the structure. The building can breathe with the temperature. And there's another invisible enemy, the wind. At an altitude of 300 meters and in the open sea where nothing offers protection from the gusts, the wind hits the building with tremendous force. And this causes such a slender skyscraper to sway. The top of the sail sways from side to side in a strong wind by tens of centimeters, about 1/3 of a meter. And this isn't a malfunction, but the norm. A rigid building of such a height would simply crack. It must be slightly flexible. The shape was tested in a wind tunnel beforehand, and the piles in the sand were calculated to dampen this swaying and prevent the building from swaying excessively. Guests at the top barely feel it. Meanwhile, the hotel sways slightly in the wind, as befits a good sail. And even the sail itself is no simple wall. It's neither concrete nor glass. It's a giant fabric screen stretched over a frame. 2 layers of a special membrane with an air gap between them. During the day, this snow-white sail allows soft, diffused light into the atrium. And at night, it's illuminated, transforming into a luminous canvas with a play of color. Fabric instead of a wall on a 300-meter-tall building. Another solution that few would dare to try. And the entire structure is crowned by a long mast at the very top. It's more than just decoration. It adds the final few dozen meters to the building, bringing it to a height of 321 meters. Without this mast, the hotel's residential section ends at approximately 200 meters. But the mast elongates the silhouette, turning it into a record-breaking sail. At the time of its opening, it was the tallest hotel in the world. Of course, other Dubai giants would later surpass the top. The city hasn't stopped building ever higher since. But the sail was the first. The first building that made the entire world say, wait, what's even going on in this Dubai? And now for the real reason for all this. Luxury taken to the extreme. From the very beginning, Paris was built not as a hotel, but as a statement. There are no ordinary rooms inside, only 2-story suites. Finishes infused with tons of real gold, a private butler, a fleet of white Rolls-Royces, a restaurant that literally flies out of the building. It cantilevers, jutting out almost 30 meters from the tower at the height of a 200-meter skyscraper. You sit and soar above the sea. And at an altitude of over 200 meters, a helipad has been added to the building so guests can arrive directly by air. It is for this level of service that the hotel has been dubbed the world's first 7-star hotel, even though officially such a category doesn't even exist. And the luxury here isn't just for show, it's taken to the point of absurdity. According to various estimates, tons of gold leaf were used in the interior decoration. Columns, details, and entire surfaces are covered in it. It's said that a huge area of the interior is covered in gold. The gigantic atrium inside shimmers with vibrant colors, complete with fountains and aquariums. Each room is a 2-level suite with a personal butler available 24/7. You can arrive at the hotel in a white Rolls-Royce from the hotel's private car park, or directly by helicopter to that very spot in the clouds. This wasn't just a hotel, it was a manifesto. Look what's now possible, and look at how much it costs. But this beauty has a downside, and it's worth being honest about it. A huge portion of this building's volume, almost 40%, is essentially empty space. That gigantic atrium and decorative spaces where no one lives. Critics have been outspoken. This is a building where form trumps function, where style trumps meaning, and half the skyscraper exists simply for the wow factor. And you know what? That's exactly what Dubai needed. It didn't need an efficient hotel, it needed a symbol the whole world would see. And the calculation worked 100%. On December 1st, 1999, the Burj Al Arab opens, and exactly what the ruler of Dubai had hoped for happens. A single photograph of this white sail, moored in a turquoise sea, spreads around the world. The building instantly becomes a symbol of Dubai, just as the Eiffel Tower became a symbol of Paris. This sail, in essence, marks the beginning of the Dubai we know today, a city where they build the impossible simply because they can. Think about it. Before Paris, Dubai was just a dot on the map for most people, barely even considered. But then it became a place to see the future. The tallest building on the planet, palm-shaped islands, a ski slope in the middle of the desert, all that came later. But it was that white sail at sea that cemented that reputation. One hotel changed the way the world viewed an entire country, and it did it not through advertising, but through engineering, by simply standing where standing was unavoidable. That's the whole point. To build a symbol on the water, engineers had to conquer 3 impossible challenges at once. They created land where there was only sea. They tamed the waves that were eroding their island. And they held a 300-meter skyscraper on the soft sand by using the friction of the sand itself to their advantage. There's no rock beneath it to this day. This hotel literally hangs in the sand, caught by friction, in the middle of the bay. The engineers didn't argue with the sea or the soil. They outwitted both, pile by pile, block by block. But a hotel on the sand and the sea is one thing. But what if the land on which to build doesn't even exist yet? And an entire island intended for an airport begins to sink from the very first day? Or should we build not into the water, but into the sky, a kilometer up, where the wind alone can tear the tower apart? That's for next time. If you're interested in how man repeatedly outsmarts the elements, subscribe. We only discuss stories like this here. See you at the next impossible structure.